What's going on, YouTube world? Welcome to Little Bit Man Gaming, bringing you know what that means. The title around my shoulder means is a review for Raw. First thing first, you can hit that like, subscribe, share, and the notification button. I greatly appreciate it. Those who are subscribed, keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you. Love you. Just keep doing what you're doing and share. Those who are not subscribed, subscribe because we gotta go 100 subscribers. So with that being out the way, that's not wasting any more time. Let's get into it. So yeah, Drew McIntyre, who was missing from last Monday's Raw, kicked off this Monday's Raw, with a promo. Basically he wasn't making no excuses. He boosted how he basically survived the Elimination Chamber to retain the WWE Championship. And then, Bobby Lashley and The Miz basically got to him, and he ended up losing the championship to The Miz. So the promo was a decent promo. He just basically talked about how 40 days, 40 days or 40 nights he got until he could make it to the main event of WrestleMania. Because he said, he basically want whoever wins the championship, whoever wins between Bobby Lashley and The Miz, he want them in the main event of WrestleMania. So, it's still boosting. I think he had the first match of the night too, by the way, and he was basically boosting how he just was going to win the championship back. Then he was interrupted by the WWE champion himself, The Miz, and John Morrison with The Miz basically trying to goat him, if you will, into helping him with Bobby Lashley, because he said Bobby Lashley is a menace and he don't want he should be the one to get the championship opportunity. Basically, Miz is trying to run from Bobby Lashley. He doesn't want to face Bobby Lashley because in his mind, he knows he'll lose the title to Bobby Lashley. Let's see. Yeah, basically, Drew McIntyre basically told The Miz, "I'm not going to do your dirty work for you. You on your own with Bobby Lashley. Either you or whoever wins tonight will be my problem after that. But until then, you on your own, And then, The Miz tried to keep going him, and then we got another interruption in the form of MVP, who comes out there asking Drew McIntyre, is he really buying into what The Miz is selling? And he was like, "No, you know me, MVP. I don't need, like I told you when you asked me to join the Hurt Business. I don't need your help. I don't want to join you. I don't need the help. I don't need your help or anybody's help or need to help anybody for that matter." So he said, "You say, MVP was like, you say that tonight, but it still doesn't change the fact that, Bobby Lashley was going to come out there and beat The Miz and become the champion." And he also came out to inform The Miz that at 9 o'clock, that's when the match was going to happen. Then we got we also was informed that the first match of the night was going to be Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, which the promo itself led into after MVP left. The Miz again tried one last desperate plea to get John Morrison, get Drew McIntyre on his side. It still didn't work because he was cut off by yet another interruption from Sheamus, who told The Miz that he was wasting his time because Drew McIntyre only cares about himself. But don't worry, one time I'm done with him, he won't be in no condition to help anybody. And Drew McIntyre pissed off, so you know what, the time for talk is over. Let's fight. And he dropped his mic and they charged at each other. I think it went to commercial break, and then when they came back, the match officially started. It was a good match through and through. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and then they both hit a couple spots. It felt like a pay-per-view caliber match. Each kicking out big moves. I think same as even Bro kick Drew McIntyre. But Drew McIntyre was like in the ring. He was like, I want to say he was He was like on the ring apron, and he got bro kicked. You know, I think there was some future shot DDTs in there, and then both men very spent from their ordeal. Samuels went for another bro kick, but ended up getting countered into a Claymore, and Drew would pick up the win. I think the next match of the night, Ali wasn't a promo, but it was another match. They went straight to another match, which was Naomi versus Nia Jax. I guess this was a potential build up because they still got a future women's tag team championship match, Naomi and Lana. But Naomi would get beat here by Nia Jax. But we did find out that this Wednesday on NXT that Nia Jax and Sonya Blazer will be defending the women's tag team championships on NXT against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Yeah, other than that though, the match was okay. It wasn't bad. Like it wasn't one of those matches where I didn't feel like it was unnecessary. It was just a quick match that shouldn't have been quick. You know, for Naomi and Lana's sake. Then we got the potential. Then we had the potential match with Bobby Lashley and The Miz for the W Championship. But then we found out that The Miz was nowhere to be seen. It's because he got cramps and stomach aches and stomachs and knots because of the stress of the match and all that type of stuff. He can't compete. So Bobby Lashley and his angle ran back there. You know, Adam Pearce is trying to console Bobby is trying to console The Miz and tell him that he needs to go out there for the champion. He's a champion. He needs to go out there and fight. But Bobby Lashley would get to him and tell The Miz that one way or another we will be having this match tonight, and I will beat your ass for the title. We got a video package for Rhea Ripley again. You know, glad to see her coming. I hope they put her into the mix of this whole women's title thing. And I would get to that in a second because I didn't know that Asuka was actually legit injured. I heard about it, but I didn't really pay attention to it. I thought it was like a work, but she was like legit injured. Let's see. We got Braun Strowman, who was angry. You know, he came a couple promo about being angry that they were jerking him around, screwing with him, and laughing at him. But you got Shane McMahon and Adam Pearce who came out and tell him that they are not, you know, they're not jerking around, they're not jerking him around, they're not messing with him or laughing at him. That they want to take it seriously, but he need to communicate, you know, with the management, and that he's having troubles lately, and that's what the communication come in. So Shane McMahon oddly booked Braun Strowman and Adam Pearce who Braun Strowman and management got a problem with. He told Adam that, you know, him and Braun would team up to go against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin for the Raw Tag Team titles, and that, you know, to try to make amends and make peace between him and Adam Pearce. Braun Strowman at first wasn't liking the idea, but then he got over it and said, okay, that sounds like a good idea. But if Adam Pearce screws it up, Adam Pearce was going to get these hands. Then we actually end up getting the match, the Hurt Business versus Braun Strowman and Adam Pearce, with Braun basically dominated Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. Then he even hit at the end. He even hit the running slam on Shelton Benjamin, and was about to get the pinfall. Where it looked like he would have won the title, and Braun, the same man, in his gusto, if you will, or his angst, would tell Shelton Benjamin, not Shelton Benjamin, but Braun Strowman to tag in Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce would basically would get pinned because they took so long arguing about why Adam Pearce should come in, even though Braun had the match won. So when Adam tried to go for the pin, Shelton Benjamin countered and rolled him up and got the pin, retaining the titles, which I am glad they didn't feed the titles to Braun Strowman and Adam Pearce because it's been a weird thing. But I'd like to see what this is going with Braun Strowman and management. Because oddly, it look like he's going to have a match at WrestleMania with Shane McMahon or Adam Pearce, but most likely Shane McMahon, because at the end he told Shane that you're the one who was pulling the strings. This is your fault, and that y'all keep playing with me and keep messing with me. That I'm going to basically destroy this place. I'm going to mess this place up, and it'll be on your hands. So then we get a promo with Elias trying to pitch his deal with Bad Bunny. And, you know, he wanted to do a collab song with Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny, once again, like he did with The Miz, tell Elias no. And I think he was also backstage with Damian Priest, and he spoke to Damian Priest, and I think it was Spanish, and Adam Priest translated that he said no, which would lead to which it was already booked for the night. It would be Damian Priest versus Elias with Bad Bunny and Josh and Riker at ringside. The match was okay. The one thing I did like, this was the first adversity type match for Damian Priest, because he did get dominated a little bit in this match, but overall he ended up coming out to win, and I still fairly enjoyed the push they given at Damian Priest. Let's see what's next up. Then we got the second match with the second retry of the WWE Championship match with The Miz and Bobby Lashley. This time, you know, they came out to the ring. The referee made the announcement. You know, they held from this, you held from here. You know, waste the championship. And once the bell rang, they looked like they was about to square Miz to try to keep on his feet, try to stay from having to tussle with Bobby Lashley. He ducked out the ring, grabbed the championship belt, and took off. Ran and supposedly left the Thunderdome, and he's never to be seen again. But he was counting out, making Bobby Lashley the winner. Though since the belt can't change hands on a count out, the Miz still retained the title. We got a backstage promo with Randy Orton, and he was talking about how he was basically giving a warning to Alexa Bliss that, you know, to stay out of his way. He was I think he was basically trying to refocus on trying to get back in the title picture, but he told Alexa Bliss to stay out of his way, or she was going to get hurt. And then they played a promo of what happened last week too. And then Alexa Bliss would come up on the TV screen telling Randy that it's not over yet. And then Randy would give a little bit of cough again. And then he would get another Randy would appear on the screen, this time while Randy was looking at the screen. And it seemed like Randy was being possessed. And he was talking like a demonic voice to itself that it won't be over till he says it's over, and that the worst is yet to come, or whatever they were saying in the promo. That's finding all type of silly. But I guess it was the supernatural element here of I guess the Fiend possessed Randy Orton to give him that message, and Randy Orton started coughing badly again, but this time was no black goo. It looks like this is all just building towards the Fiend versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. We would get Charlotte Flair cutting the promo about how now that she's refocused, now that she realized that, you know, Bianca Belair chose Sasha Banks to face at WrestleMania, that leaves the Raw Women's Championship, you know, at WrestleMania, you know, without an opponent. Asuka does not have an opponent at WrestleMania, so they're trying. She volunteered, or not volunteered. She issued the challenge to be the person, but then she would get interrupted by Nia Jax and Sonya Blazer telling her that nobody wants her there. Everybody wish she would have sent herself home along with, instead of with Flair. You know, people want her to go home. Nobody likes her, and that it's either going to be Sonya or Nia Jax who challenge Asuka for the championship if she even returns, because apparently last week Asuka was kicked in the face by Sonya Blazer and knocked one of her teeth out. Is either not, I think they say it's not one or a couple of her teeth out. Um, and that's why she's on the injury list. But I guess she's supposedly going to be back in time for WrestleMania. This would lead into a match with Charlotte Flair versus Sonya, which was a good match back and forth. Also, they started because Sonya got in Charlotte's face after taunting her and stuff about nobody wanting her there and that they was going to be the one to challenge Asuka. Sonya would get in the ring and get in Charlotte's face, where Charlotte would punch her. They got to a little brawl. Not Jazz tried to jump in and jump Charlotte. And then when we come back, it was an actual match between Charlotte and Sonya, which went actually quite decent. I wouldn't say it was bad, considering that I was kind of about Charlotte always being in the main picture. She actually had a decent match with Sonya. She would hit the natural selection to beat Sonya Blazer. Sonya did work over Charlotte's arm, so I guess that's the reason why she had to go with natural selections instead of the figure eight. But yeah, it was a good match, decent match. We would get the Lucha House Party and with Matt Riddle versus Retribution, 6-man tag. I didn't really pay attention to this match in particular. I'm just like, oh god, it's just a 6-man tag. Don't really have no implications, but it was what came at the end that kind of saved this match, because Retribution would get beat by Riddle and Lucha House Party. Mustafa Ali would get mad, and he had fed up. He said, "I'm going to show you guys." Now, no, he said, "No, you come back." He was telling Matt Riddle to come back in the ring, who left his title around the ring post. So when he went to go back to get the belt, he told him to get back in the ring, and he want to show with Retribution what they supposed to be about. And Retribution, oh man, it got dark in here. Hold on, give me 1 sec. That's kind of better, right? Okay. Where was I? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Mustafa Ali was angry, and he told Riddle to get back in the ring because he wanted to show Retribution what they supposed to be doing. What they supposed to be doing is winning, and Mustafa Ali challenged Matt Riddle to a 1-on-1. And that match was fairly decent. I didn't really pay attention too much, but I paid attention enough to see they was having a good back and forth. And Mustafa Ali would pick up the actual pinfall win over Matt Riddle, shockingly. And yeah, he will get the pinfall. Hopefully, this is the better direction for the Retribution and Mustafa Ali as a whole. Then we get to the main event. This time, the third time's a charm. The Miz versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship, which now, if you think about it, was just everything that we saw in the beginning was just a story, plot device just to get this match to be the main event. It was the last match of the night, and they fought earlier in the night. We found out that if the Miz did not participate legitly after he got himself caught out, the Miz promised Bobby Lashley that it will be a championship match properly, and that if the Miz did not show up for this match, he would be stripped of the title, and the title would be rewarded to Bobby Lashley. So the Miz showed up complaining to Shane McMahon that he's been disrespected, been mistreated, he's been humiliated the whole night, hasn't been protected. He should be the main event of WrestleMania, and that he's that you might want a big monster type dude as champion, but he's what's needed on this brand to be champion. He should be the one who should be champion, or he should be protected as champion because he's what's needed to be. He said to make the brand great, and Shane McMahon said we'll see, maybe, but it's all up to you, champ. So he told him to get out there and get ready for his match, and that he was going to think of a stipulation to make sure he participated in that match. And when that match came, that stipulation was in the form of a lumberjack match. After the Miz and Bobby Lashley, they did the whole raising the title and the announcing what city they from and stuff again for the third time. This Shane McMahon would come interrupt and tell him, formally inform him that it would be a lumberjack match. That was the idea he came up with, and the ring was surrounded to make sure that Miz would have to participate in this match. So finally the match got underway, and basically Miz throughout the match is trying to squirm. He tried to get in some offense, but when it wasn't work, he would try to run away. He would try to beg one of the Lumberjacks to help him out, and that he would give them a championship match at WrestleMania. He pleaded with Mustafa Ali. He pleaded with Drew Gulak and Elias. But at the end, nobody was having it, so they kept throwing them back in the ring. Bobby Lashley pretty much dominated the whole match, and when he finally got ready, he would hit The Miz with, I guess they call it an almighty spine buster, and then he would put the Hurt Lock on The Miz to win the WWE Championship for the first time ever. It took him 16 years to basically hold the WWE Championship. That's what I got in one of my notes. They were saying it's 16 years. But yeah, Bobby Lashley is your new champion. And the one thing I did want to talk about real quick before I end this video and give you my graded thoughts, or you know what, as a whole, after what I thought of the show as a whole, I would give the show a solid 8 big ups, just because I did get to see Bobby Lashley be WWE champion, where he should have been in his first run with WWE, but better late than never. But my thoughts is that they need to hurry up, bring in Rhea to introduce some new life or new blood into the Raw Women's title picture. And the fact that the one thing I want to touch on is that The Miz was long overdue to be champion. He should have been. I always said that people like him, Bobby, and Kofi should have been multi-time world champions by now. Beggars can't be choosers. I did get what I wanted. Kofi. I think that was Kofi last year. Was that Kofi last year or the year before last? And we get The Miz this year and Bobby this year. But the thing is, The Miz by now should be multi-time. At least he should have been multi-time WWE champion by now. Instead of this being his second title reign, which was short, and I feel like that was disrespectful to The Miz to have a short title reign, but rumors kept saying that his title reign wasn't going to be long. I felt like The Miz deserves better as champion. And just like from an outside looking in standpoint, The Miz was being mistreated in that point, because Kofi was being mistreated. To have him not even being considered, not being able to go out there and cut promos about wanting to be the champion again and try to challenge for the championship. You keep sticking Kofi into the tag team pit. Hell, him and Xavier Woods was even on the show. And but Bobby himself, I'm happy that Bobby got to become champion. I'm just weary because African American. He's like the third. They say that he's like the third African American to become the champion. And other than The Rock is the only exception to an African American man who was given, or African American and Samoan. But you get my point. He was the only one given a lengthy title reign, but other African Americans did not have that luxury. Kofi, and I hope with them giving the Bobby Lashley, I hope Bobby Lashley just don't hold it for now until next month and lose, and they just happen to lose it. I hate to bring race into it, but the history of African Americans being the champion is proof in the pudding. By the fact that Bobby is the third African American person to win the title, it just shows that they need to change that. They really do. They need to change how they do. Cause I'm still kind of jaded about how they did Kofi, but it's just my little small rant. But yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, or you like this video, or let me know what you think about the fact that they haven't had a lot of African American champions. Let me know in the comments down below. To the next one. Peace.